Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Psychosin Psychoanalysis here on the Psychosin Project channel here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by 36 Crazyfists known as Time and Trauma. I want to thank Spine Farm Records for sending this over to me to review for not only my YouTube channel but also from the magazine musiclesspast.com. Go check it out. Now, for those of you who don't know who 36 Crazyfists are, well, let me tell you. Hailing from Anchorage in Alaska, 36 Crazyfists formed 18 years ago and in 2002 released their debut major label album Bitterness the Star, which had the huge metal hit Slit Wrist Theory on it. The follow-up that came afterwards, obviously, was the absolute classic of Snow-Capped Romance, which gained them a huge following. Since then, the band has changed labels from Roadrunner to Ferret Records, and recently from Ferret Records through to Spine Farm Records. They've continued to tour and write albums, with their last one being Collisions and Castaways in 2010. Last month, they released a long-awaited follow-up to that album, Time and Trauma, which is what I will be reviewing for you today. The band now consists of Brock Lindow on vocals, Steve Holt on guitar, Mick Whitney on bass, and Carl Bautus on drums. The first song on the album is called Vanish. Now, this starts with a guitar fade in, then an awesome slow-paced riff, before Brock Lindow's incredible vocals come in over the top. I have no idea why the camera decided to sort of lose focus for a moment then. I think it's the autofocus. You'll have to excuse that if it happens a few times. Anyway, after some screaming, we get a drum build up, then the entire band joins in playing the same slow-paced riff and excellent backing scream. With excellent backing screams. During the chorus we have Brock's high screams joined by some low growly vocals to add to the heaviness before we go back into the verse with a faster riff adding to the intensity of the song. The band ups the intensity as we head toward the ending of the song with the clean and screaming vocals crossing over until we come to a fade out. Up next is 11/24/11, sort of written as a date. I'm not sure what significance that holds to the band, but obviously it has some significance. Maybe if I had the lyric sheet I'll be able to tell you. Anyway, now this starts with a cymbal counting, then into a fast melody on the guitar, before we get to some fast riffing, calling to mind the kind of stuff they were doing on Snow-Capped Romance. The vocalist comes in again, switching perfectly between the screaming and melodic singing. Halfway through we break into some stop-start drumming with the superb riff over the top, with some spoken word over the top leading to more impassioned screamed vocals. We return to the riff, some spoken words, then a crash of drums, and yet again the song fades out, the guitar, and indeed this leads us to the end of the song. Track number 3 is Sorrow Sings. Now this starts with a fading of a guitar, playing a mid-paced melody. Then the rest of the band joins in playing along with the same melody. We then drop down to a single guitar and drums with clean vocals. Then the second guitar comes in and clean vocals continue on top of that mid-paced melody until we get to the chorus where the vocals really take the song up to another level, something that 36 Crazyfists themselves are pretty adept at doing. If you listen to any of their albums, you can hear them do what's essentially the classic 36 Crazyfists take off into the chorus. Anyway, at the mid-8 we change to an almost doomy style riff with impassioned screamed vocals over the top. The whole sound of the song spiraling down until we bring things right back up with that huge chorus again. With repeated singing of the song title, the song then ends with that spiraling riff, and then we come to a sudden stop. Up next is Lightless. Now this starts with the band playing a fast riff straight away with the clean vocals over the top. Another superb soaring chorus comes in again, really highlighting how great this band is at what they do. At the mid-8 we go into a soaring riff and vocals which really help break the song up and add to the beauty of the whole experience. We then have spoken words and a scream, and we're back into that fast beginning fast riff. That beginning fast riff is what I was meant to say. The song ends with one final repetition of that chorus, and then we come to an end. Up next is Time and Trauma. I'm going to say now this is probably my favourite song on the entire album. This starts with a single guitar playing a mid-paced riff. Drums and vocals join in alongside that riff. A stop and start style riff comes in for the pre-chorus, which leads into a huge riff for the massive sounding chorus. We then return to the mid-paced riff for the verse with added backing screams. At the middle, we change into a chuggy riff with a long scream from the vocalist, along with some low-styled, almost death metal like vocals. We then go back to that soaring chorus from before, a definite highlight of the song on this album, as I said, which could sound absolutely incredible live. We break down into a single clean guitar and spoken word to see the song out. Next is Also Am I. This starts with the full band playing a very full-on riff reminiscent of their earlier work. The vocalist joins in singing over the top of that riffing. Single guitar melody then takes us to a slow riff for the chorus again, sounding huge with the vocalist's voice dripping with emotion. We return to the full-on riff from before for the verse. At the middle 8, we get a superb guitar solo accompanied by tight drumming and bass playing, which goes into some very heavy riffing. This then takes back to the massive chorus. The song then ends with another fade out. Next is Translator. This starts with a single guitar, me forgetting how to speak English, and clean vocals with an echo effects on them. Really buggering this up. Anyway, the second guitar plays a distorted melody in the background, then the band joins in at full force with a mid-paced riff. At the middle 8, we get a solo guitar backed up by bass and drums before a huge riff comes in over the top, playing along with that melody. We then return to that mid-paced riff from before for another verse and chorus, which leads us through to a single guitar and clean vocals which fade out and end the song. Up next is Silencer. Now this starts with a very heavy sounding stop-start riff and screaming vocals over the top. This changes into clean vocals and a superb up and down style riff, you could almost call it spiralling. We then go into a slightly faster riff which leads us into a huge sounding riff and chorus. Another possible high point if they choose to play this one live. Through the middle 8 we break into another high speed riff and sung shouted style vocals along with it, which leads us back to the verse riff with gang vocals shouting along to that. We then return to that epic sounding chorus which takes us through to a single clean guitar playing the melody which fades it out slowly until the end of the song. Next is Slivers. Now this starts with a stop-start riff and the vocals join in as the band plays a fast melody in the background. We then go into a very rock-style riff to drive the chorus along. This takes us back to the stop-start riff and melody again for the chorus, or melody even, not melody as I just said. At the middle 8 we get a stop-start riff and scream vocals with a driving drum beat. We then return to the chorus which this time switches between clean and heavy vocals. This takes us through to a mid-paced riff which then fades out to end the song. Next is Swing the Noose, which is definitely a possible candidate for a future single from this album, surely. Now this starts with a drum beat, then the whole band crushes in with a fast-paced riff. This then slows right down for the clean vocals to join in. We then go into a guitar riff with both guitars playing different parts of the melody. You'll know what I mean when you hear this song. And this leads into another fast riff and catchy chorus. Again, the vocalist showing how passionate his vocals can sound on this song. This breaks down to just drums, bass and a single guitar playing the melody again for the verse. At the middle 8 we go into an almost hardcore style stop-start riff which leads us back into the chorus. We get a nice chuggy riff, then we get a very sudden ending on this song. The penultimate song on the album is Gathering Bones. Now this starts with the sound of a guitar playing a subtle melody and the vocalist then comes in over the top. Guitar feedback then fades in and the entire band comes in playing a fast riff until we go down to a mid-paced riff and the singer rejoins. Low heavy vocals join in, pushing us through to another superb soaring chorus. A breakdown with single guitar then explodes back into the main riff with screams, high and low vocals to up the intensity of this song. We then go back into the chorus which leads us through to the end of the song. The final song on the album is a bit of an epic and it's called Marrow. Now this starts with a single guitar playing the melody with an echo effect. The drums then join in as bass and a second guitar comes in playing a different melody as the vocalist begins singing. There's backing female vocals on this song which add another fantastic layer to the sound. The band then kicks into a huge heavy riff as the male vocalist takes the lead for the third verse of the song. We then break down to bass and a single guitar. The female vocals come in and take the lead of the song then as violins add another layer to the sound of the song. A huge soaring riff then comes crashing back in as Brock comes back in, joined by the female vocalist singing backup. The instruments swell up in more intensity more and more as the song continues, leading us through to the end of the song and the album with a fade out. So, after starting their career with a solid album in Bitterness to Style, they're making an all-time classic in Snowcap Romance. 36 Crazyfists' career has been sort of filled with solid and occasionally very good albums, but nothing that really reached the heights of their early career. However, with soaring choruses, melodies and a superb performance from the entire band, and the vocalist all the way through, some incredible writing, Time and Trauma is a true return to form for this band. And although not quite up to the classic standards of a Snowcap Romance, is definitely worth your time. You should definitely pick it up and give it a listen. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, I have been Psychosin. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back soon with another review. Thank you for watching.